Welcome, everyone. This is your girl Janelle here for another episode of Talk to Me Tuesday. I am so excited to come to you guys each and every week where we get to really talk about some of the topics that are important to all of us as we seek to empower ourselves in the relationship we have with ourselves, the relationships we have with others, and the relationships that we have with our business and or our profession. So I know that you guys got the opportunity to see the phenomenal woman who is coming to the stage today to really share with you about how do you boldly prioritize yourself as you gracefully age. And I view great really being able to age as gracefully as possible because my father has always said to me, listen, every year lets you know you are doing some good stuff and there's still more work for you to do. So I cannot wait for you guys to meet her. I met her a couple months ago, and the moment I met her, I was like, her energy, I have to have her on Talk to Me Tuesday. Her schedule has finally allowed us to be able to connect. So fam, if you are here in the house, you know I like to go ahead and recognize the fam that's in the house. So if you are here, I am going to invite you to go ahead and drop that you are here so we know that the fam is in the house. I see you, my beautiful news. Hey girl, hey. Marcus, I am so thankful that you are here joining us today. As you guys keep coming in, go ahead and just put fam into the comments so we can recognize you and shout you out. For those of you who are catching us on the replay, because we do realize that sometimes this time doesn't work for everyone, and that's super okay, go ahead and put replay into the comments to let us know you've gotten some of these goodies that we're going to share today. And for those of you who this is the first time you are coming on this platform and getting to see us, I am so happy that you are here. Put first time into the comments so we can recognize you as well. And I know that some of you are like, listen, I'm here for these nuggets. I'm not working through the comments. We see you. We are happy that you're here. Do know that you are part of the fan. So each week we hope to see you. So without further ado, I am going to go ahead and invite so she can just share with you what she has been called to do. So without further ado, here is my friend, here is my partner, Natasha Hardee. We're gonna go ahead and invite you to the stage.
Hey, everybody. Woohoo! I'm happy to be here. My name is Natasha Hardee from Hardee Life because you deserve a Hardee life. And I teach women age 50 and above to boldly choose to prioritize themselves, to embrace the aging transitions, the midlife transitions, so they can flourish vibrantly now and into the future. How y'all doing tonight? I'm happy to be here. What's going on, Miss Janelle?
Listen here. Okay. She is calling me out on my own platform, right? Because I ain't never came here with no type of energy and excitement and pom-poms for y'all. But do know that mother loves you all the way. so she's calling me out. So don't be surprised if in a couple of weeks you see mother out here with some pom-poms letting y'all know how much I care about you as well. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. From the moment I met her energy has never ever decreased. And yes, she does focus on the 50 plus women, but I'm telling y'all, I know that we have some people who haven't made it to that amazing level yet. These tips, I promise you, you can use at any age. For those of you, Marcus, I know you're out here joining us. Again, these tips are universal. I know she super serves and focuses on the 50 plus women, but listen here, I had her show up because these nuggets all of us can take, right? And I say, let's not wait till we get to 50 plus to figure it out if we can pick it up along the way. So listen here, I am thankful. I encourage you, if you don't have a notepad, to grab something to write down some of these goodies that she will share with us tonight. So the first thing I want to ask you is, how did you evolve? How did you really learn how to prioritize yourself? What were some of the things that you did to get to what we're experiencing right now?
Well, I give my mom the credit, first of all, because I was my mother's yoga partner in our in her yoga studio called our living room floor when I was about 2 or 3. and I was always my dad's dance partner from the time I came out the womb. And we always had to go to people's houses and we were the dance pair. And just living life as you go on through life. I'm a trained dancer. I'm a graduate from the Fame I'm Gonna Live Forever, that school. I'm a graduate of that school. I actually graduated the same year that Coco on TV graduated. So she's in my graduating class. And yeah, I just, all my life, I've been energetic. I guess it was from being a dancer. And then from dancer, I turned to personal trainer. I'm a mom. I was a young mom. I was a mom in my early 20s. And just dance is my superpower, I say it. And I've always danced. It's always been a very vital part of my experience. And it's funny, right? Because when I was younger and I was a young mom, I felt tired all the time. I actually felt like I was more like 50 or 60 when I was in my 20s than I do now. And there came a point in my life where, you as a woman, as a mother, as a wife, as a homemaker, as a single parent, a sister, a friend, I was the go-to person for people in my life. I called the Rock of Gibraltar, the one who fell on the sword for people, the people pleaser. And as life goes on, you actually begin to shed those responsibilities. I feel like, you grow, you grab responsibilities, you shed some responsibilities, people, you lose people along the way. You know what I mean? Like you have friends and then you don't have those friends anymore. And I believe part of that is a coming to, like, there is something that naturally happens as you age. Everybody who is over 30 knows, like, when you got to 30, there was a benchmark. I remember, for me anyway, there was a benchmark, like, no, I don't think I'm going to be doing this, and this anymore. I'm 30, and then when I hit 40, I was like, I had deemed myself as retired. I was like, I'm not working no job. I don't want to work, and I don't feel like I got to work. I'm not going to be. When I turned 50, I'm now 58, proudly to say.
And looking good.
When I turned on that wanting to be younger. And I see that with a lot of women who are like 50, 51, 52. There's something that happens around 55-ish. And then when you get about 58, closer to 60, there's this other shedding of, hey, I don't give up no more. So I believe it's a lifelong shedding process. And for me, because I've been in the health and wellness industry for over 40 years, being a multi-certified fitness professional and occupational therapy, and also a life coach, I get to live what I'm saying to people, right? So I was a gym rat for a long time. I danced like 7-8 hours a day at one time. So it was part of my life, my lifestyle. And I became a vegetarian in my early 20s. I stopped eating a lot of things. It was almost like I don't want to say shedding. It was more like an evolving process that I actually learned along the way, right? And also my mother had a particular lifestyle for us, even though she was from the South and we still ate all that Southern food. There was just certain things she wouldn't allow us to eat, cold cuts and this and all it, but we still had our share of that Southern cuisine. And I just honestly feel like it's a process, it's a choice. And like everything, it's something you get to learn how to incorporate. It wasn't easy for me. Yeah.
And you just dropped so many different things about even the evolution of thinking about how you take care of yourself, not just in the way you appear to others, right? But it was thinking about what are you eating, what is coming into your body. And again, doing it in a way which I can really appreciate, where you didn't say, you know, we didn't appreciate some of those, the macaroni and cheese, the fried chicken, all, you know, the chitterlings and all that good stuff that, you know, people from the South are very familiar with. But it was about just how do you moderate? And then how do you stay active? And staying active, yeah, you talked about being, you know, going to the gym all the time, but you also dance and just made sure that you remained physical through it all. You know, one of the things I would ask for you, just thinking about those who you know, are joining us, when you haven't reached that point where you talk about where you start to, where you stop caring, right? Because in your 30s you care. You know, I've heard people say in your 30s you stop caring so much. In your 40s you start to really evolve into who you are, and by your 50s you're like, listen, I know who I am and I'm going to work on unapologetically being me. And by 60 you're like, listen, I've spent more time on this side than that side probably. So I can't be so concerned. But what advice do you give for people in their 30s so they're not waiting until they get to that point, they get to that level? What do you encourage them to do starting earlier?
Yeah, I would say this, and I'm on the side where I'm not doing as much as I used to do at all. So what I would say, if someone's in their 30s, what I've recently learned specifically about women is that one of the things we get to do in our 30s is get something called a female hormonal panel. And that panel, by the time you're 35, you should get that in it. You get your cortisol levels, your TSH levels, your reverse TSH level, all it's a hormonal panel. And you need to have that done fully for you, because that's a baseline for you. That's one thing I would say to do. And I would also suggest to focus on your nutrition. Focus on your nutrition. And some people, you know, some people are candy junkies, some people are soda junkies, some people are ice cream junkies, some people are food, you know, whatever your thing is. I would invite you to do one less of those a year. So let's just say you ate macaroni and cheese every 3 days out the week. And I would say, take it down to once a week, take it down to once a month. Bread is a big thing for women, right? Bread is, I noticed this, I'm speaking from my professional experience. I'm not trying to call women out, but I just know,
I'm like, listen, you about to step on toes out here.
Women like to eat, as a trainer, what I realized is women like to eat foods that taste good. They're not interested in eating stuff that don't taste good. And I lend a lot of that to us being women that have to taste the food for the baby. So our palate, our taste buds are a lot more stronger than men, where men can eat stuff that don't taste all that great and they're just gulping down because they don't have this taste bud sensitivity, right? Women like to eat things that taste good. So if you know you like bread, not every day. I don't care if it's black, white, brown, blue, green, purple, orange. I don't care if it's whole grain, no grain, full of grains, Play-Doh. Don't eat the bread. Just don't eat it. Rice, you know, I had a client, she was Asian. She was like, Natasha, you just can't tell me not to eat rice. That's just part of our culture. I said, honey, that's part of everybody of color culture. We all love rice.
Yes. Because I'm like, listen, my family's from the West Indies. I'm like, rice is like, everything goes with the rice.
My father's from South Carolina. They Geechees. The rice that's a staple, you know. So I'm saying to moderate your diet now in your 30s. Begin to eat less starches, add more veggies, more whole grain foods. Stay away from the processed food. Drink a lot of water. You see all this skin? That's because I drink water. You see that?
She out here showing out, people. She out here showing out. Listen, I can tell you, I try to get my water in. So I try to drink at least 3 of these a day, which is like 90 ounces. But I gotta tell you, it takes some time to get used to that, because in the middle of meetings I keep getting up. You know,
It
but it's important, right? And it's all part of going back to that larger message about self-care.
That's what I would say. The beginning would be for people to pull back on the alcohol, pull back on all of the sweets. I'm not saying to cut everything out. I'm saying pull back, take less of the not so good things out and put more of the fruits, the vegetables. And it's a process. That's why I'm not saying do it all at once. You might want to drink, you may say you might be drinking 1 cup of water a day. You may want to start drinking 2 cups of water a day and do that for maybe 2 months, and then get yourself up to 3 cups of water a day. Just, it's a gradual process, and be kind and gentle to yourself. Get lots of rest, right? No burning the candle at both ends on a regular, and to exercise, go out for a walk 4 or 5 days a week. Those, if you would just like slowly but surely incorporate going, if you can't walk 4 days, 5 days a week, walk 2 days, start out 1 day a week, start out 2 days a week for half an hour, go walk around, go to the park, drive to the stadium, walk up some stairs, walk back down the stadium stairs. All that stuff is really good for you. It'll save you. And if you have the money, I would say find yourself in a trainer or somebody. And I always tell women, it's important to train with a woman. Most women love to train with the men because they look good, but most of the time the men are training women like men. I'm not trying to be biased. A lot of times they are, unless that person is multi certified and they have a diverse portfolio. And trainers are like dating. You have to see a few of them, and they're like doctors. You have to see a few of them before you get the right one. And that's what it is. So what am I saying you should do at 30? Pull back on the not so good food, eat more fruits and vegetables, more whole foods, remove the bread, sodas, drink more water, right? And then get some rest. This was my, when I work with my clients, I tell them these are the 3 things. There's a trilogy. It's rest, diet, and exercise. The other trilogy is spiritual, mental, and physical. So you got to have this muscle between here has to be right also, because if this ain't working right, then everything else isn't going to work right. You get to, it's also a lot of personal development, a lot of reflection, maybe possibly doing workshops on overcoming stress, overcoming maybe some trauma, some childhood traumas, or maybe a trauma or 2 that may have occurred in your life, and you get to work through that. Some people lost parents. That's very traumatic for them. Some people have been violently attacked. That's traumatic for them. Some children have been abused. That's traumatic for them. And sometimes as women, we tend to carry a lot on our shoulders and keep a mask on that everything is doing fine, and inside we're coming apart, falling apart. And it's okay to feel your feelings. It's okay to be in pain, but don't live there. Work through it. So you want to have your and that's the side, that's your mental, your spiritual, and your physical piece together, because it's a trinity. It's 2 trinities that I say, and that works for you to move your life forward. And women normally take on a huge burden of their family or friends or what have you, and or your job, your community, your church. You don't have to do that. No is a full sentence, and it's important for you all to begin to prioritize yourself. if I could speak to my younger self, what would I tell me? I would tell myself that you are amazing. You can do anything. You have the capability to do anything, and you get to focus on you. Because I'm a full-time job. You a full-time job. You can't be taking on nobody else's stuff.
I love it. Listen, we always, and for those of you who are listening, just thinking about where you are right now and the work that I get to do, I fully agree with you. It's about how do you empower yourself? Because the relationship you have with yourself is impacting every other relationship you have with your business, with others, etc., across the board. So really, hearing this information tonight, being reflective and honest with yourself about where you are and how you can continuously enhance and grow. Because getting to a place where I think, for me, thinking about how you boldly prioritize aging, it's about getting better along the way. So I know that you support women, the 50 plus community. Share with us some of the things that you do with them.
Well, it's interesting because when women get into their 50s and 60s, well, the early part of the 50s, there's a whole big of feeling like life is over. That's usually the first thing, because quiet as it's kept, when society has erased women between 50 and whatever that picture that they have of women in a house dress sitting in a rocking chair, whatever that age is, I don't know what it is. But you see that 40-year-old and there's the big gap until you see somebody in a rocking chair looking or walking with a cane and bent over. There's a whole lot of women. Michelle Obama is over 50. The new vice president is over 50. There's no celebration of women over 50. I was in a room on Clubhouse today, and a lady said women over 50 is the largest cohort of humans on this planet. We need to join arm in arm and be visible in this world. So what do I work with them on? When they're in their early 50s, I work on them with embracing and knowing that they have at least on the low end 40 more years to live. You got 40 more years to live.
You're like, come on, people.
This is what I say to them. So if you are the age you are now, just think of the age you are now, Janelle, and you take that experience you have and apply it to you at 20, what would you be able to achieve?
Can I tell you? I am.
That's the question I asked.
Listen,
that's the question I asked them.
It's such an important question.
And guess what? You can do that now. There's no reason why you can't achieve now with your experience what you would have done at 20. And I tell you why. Because whatever you were able to do with that experience at 20, you could do it now in a fraction of the time. And so I spend that on the 50-year-olds, but I'm also spending it on to the people in the audience right now that's listening to what I'm saying. I'm saying it's not too late. It's never too late. And if you're 40, you got another 50 years to live. Okay. How about that? If you're 30, then if you're 35, you got another 55 years to live. So what you gonna do? Life ain't over. Don't give me that, oh, time is running out. And that's another thing. When women get in their 50s, they keep thinking time is, I'm not gonna live long enough to do all the things I wanna do. You'll be able to do them, and you'll be able to do them in a fraction of time. Look at all the things you've been able to accomplish thus far. So that's what I teach the people in their 50s, in their early 50s. And when they get to 55-ish, the conversation I have with them is about embracing who they are, because they're looking at their body. There's some things that happen. There's some real serious things that start happening from your girl down there on up to you looking at your gray hair. You're seeing the wrinkles. You're seeing the belly. You're seeing the weight gain you can't get off that you used to could get off. When you look in the mirror, The person you see in the mirror isn't the person you feel in your head. And actually, I read a study where this woman was 70 that said, in my head, I'm still 25, but my body may not be able to do that. And that's just that. It doesn't mean that in other words, she was saying, I'm still young and youthful at 70. It's you just seeing something. And I'm saying the conversation I gave earlier about what one can do to maintain longevity in their life, move, be active, eat right, get your mind right, stay in line with your spiritual health, your emotional health. That's the stuff that keeps you young. It's young. Youthfulness is in your brain. It's not your body. It's not, it's not your body. So that's what I work with them, embracing their body, because we got a lot of transitions we're going through. You got empty nesting, you got career change, you got rebranding yourself. You got like, how am I going to feel as fly as I look, right? How am I going to feel as fly in my head externally as I feel in my head? So it's like, embrace that, and you get to, jazz it up and be fab. You don't have to be some quote unquote old woman. And then we talk about, we have outward conversations. We're having a talk this week called Vagina Chronicles on Clubhouse. And last week we had what's going on with my cookie, my flour, my vajayjay. We had that, my cha-cha. We had that conversation. So we have real conversations, and these women are like, I'm so happy we can have these conversations. And so they're in another headspace to have, like, a lot of the shame is gone. And we have those kind of conversations, and moving into, a lot of these women have started another career or starting a business, or they're coaches or coaching, and they're letting go of these limiting beliefs, these thoughts, these things that they have that has worn them down most of their life. Am I pretty enough? Am I thin enough? Am I this? What is my butt big? Is my this? Whatever your isms were that made you feel like I'm not attractive enough during your entire life begins to fall away, and you see that it's not that important. Ain't nobody looking at you. That's hard. A. B, if they got so much to say, you got to do like Tabitha Brown and say, that's my business. Okay, that's my business. And so that's what I would say. This is what we coach into, the empowering the women to know that they matter enough, and they do, but just know that it's a way to galvanize your power, your strength, to be like, it's falling off of me. This sense of insecurities, they begin to fall away, and there becomes a aging with grace. Today, this woman was talking about, I just decided to let my gray hair grow in, and it's beautiful. And, just hearing how men approach them, because they are, and it really, I don't think it's anything other than embracing my own inner beauty. And that's my message to the women in their 30s and 40s. Embrace your beauty. Embrace your inner beauty. Embrace who you are. The essence of you begins to shine through. If you think about your grandmother or aunt or something, and it was just a way, like when they got a certain age, it was just like, they were like cognac, so smooth. They just had a thing about them that they just rocked and rolled in a very savvy way that was so sophisticated and suave. That's what that is. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. And I do have one more question, but if anyone, I'm seeing in the comments, people have shared that they're like, listen, they love the line you got about being a full-time job, honey. So Plachette has shared, listen, she too is a full-time job, right? So just holding on to that. So if you guys have any questions for this amazing diva, be sure to drop them in the comments so we can go ahead and take care of them. But I do want to ask you with this. So when you are at that age where you are starting to really age and realize all of the value, how much life you have remaining, all of those things, how do you learn to say no? I know you say that's a full sentence, but sometimes when, a lot of women begin to take on the responsibility of raising their grandchildren, they take on the responsibility sometimes of taking care of other loved ones who, a sibling who is sick or whatever the case may be. How do you put yourself first and not feel guilty and for not being there for your family who you can see has a need?
It's very simple. It's very simple. And I get it because I'm raising my granddaughter. I had no idea I would be raising a child at 55 3 years ago, but I'm raising her now. And it was supposed to be for a year, and it's going to be until she turns 18. So that's a situation I'm not able to say no to, right? However, what I can do is get my butt up in the morning and go for a walk. What I can do is get my butt up and do my meditation. What I can do is get up and go to the gym. What I can do is journal. What I can do is take care of me first before I step out of my bedroom, before I take on anybody else's thing for that day. What I can do is set aside a day for me, or an afternoon for me, or private time for me. What I can do is send her to my friend's house so I can have an afternoon to myself. It's important. It's a necessity. It's mandatory for you to carve out that time for yourself. And we know as the day gets started, and I tell you this from experience, as my day gets started, I'm not going to be able to backtrack and go do anything else. That's why I do my meditation every morning before I get out of bed. That's why I journal before I leave my bedroom, because I know that I've tried it. I've tried it. It don't happen for me. Now it may work for somebody else. And I also take time in the evening before I go to bed. When you carve out time for yourself, and sometimes you're going to need more time, more time to yourself than other times based on what you're doing, what's going on in your life, the level of stress, the level of responsibilities that's coming up. You're going to need more time to carve more time out for yourself, because that now the requirements, the stress levels are higher. So you're going to require more recovery time. Does that support you or support people in the audience?
Absolutely. One of the things that I just, from, similar to you in the work that we are called to do, is I live by the exact same thing, where I start my day with daily affirmations. And so many people who worked with me were like, share it, share it, share it. And I just launched the 2 journals that I literally was the practices that I did. And people were like, I see you're so happy, you're so jovial, you have so many things that you're juggling. How do you do it? And it's exactly what you said, right? It's about starting with daily affirmations, getting my mind right for whatever the day unfolds. And then I close my day with a gratitude journal, because every single thing I experience, good, bad, or indifferent, I'm thankful for. So when I have 100 things to do and I only have enough time to do 25, I'm grateful that God trusts me with the responsibility of doing those 100 things. So versus seeing them as being overwhelmed, I'm able each night to talk about, what am I grateful for? I'm grateful to have a bed to lay in. So really, I think you hit it right on the head about really getting to that place. So as we close, I really want to make sure that you mentioned just now, you snuck it in a little bit about some tea coming up. So talk to me. Do we have anything coming up? How do people get a hold of you if they want some more of this Hardee life?
Yes, they can. Well, I'm on Instagram at Hardee Life, which is HARDEE, as you see in the bottom of here, Hardee Life on Instagram. I have a Facebook group called 50 plus, the symbol plus, and full of life. And I also do a monthly hot tea where we have conversations for women talking about women, concerns, cares, issues. This month, we're going to be speaking about body image, and that you can go to the link in my Instagram bio and enroll in that, into the hot high tea. Also, I wanted to let everyone know that I am on Clubhouse. I'll be on Clubhouse tomorrow at 1:30. We'll be talking about the skin, accepting the skin that I'm in. So body issues, body concerns. And we get young folks up in the rooms too. They want to know what to be prepared for. So they come in there. And then on Friday, I have another room called Setting Healthy Boundaries, Midlife Transitions. And I have a couple of groups on Clubhouse. So, but you follow me on Clubhouse, Natasha Hardee. Y'all see my name down here. And Janelle put my name in a Facebook group. Follow me on Clubhouse. I'm there. I'm around Clubhouse. Yeah, come to the hot high tea, March 19th, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come to the hot high tea where you can free your mind with Natasha Hardee. Yes, we have bite-sized chats for the 50+ woman. Come on, come one, come all.
I love it. I love it. You know, and one of the things we'll do is we'll also go back and make sure that we're dropping these in the comments so that you guys can go ahead and get all of those goodies and find out where things are going on. And like I say always in our group, remember that sometimes we're hearing a message and the message is not for us. It may be someone that we come into contact with. So, you know, one of the things that I like to do as a coach and really as a relationship strategist is I connect with people. And people say to me all the time, you have people who you bring on who's doing similar work. We're all called to do something different. So it has been my pleasure to have this phenomenal woman here. Again, I am sure you guys, I'm not even going to say I'm not sure. I am confident that you guys have learned some things here today to think about how you view every stage of your life so you can boldly move forward and not see it as a deficit, but see it as such a huge asset as you move forward. Natasha, I cannot thank you enough for me and all of the family here in Empowering Your Relationship. Guys, continue to stay safe until we meet again next Tuesday. It has been my pleasure, my absolute pleasure to connect with Natasha. Yes, yes, yes. And to connect with all of you.
Of Hardee Life.
I love it. So you guys have a safe time, and I will see you.
Natasha Hardee Life.
I will see you next week at the same time, same place, 6 o'clock, where we'll be bringing another phenomenal individual to meet with you all. So again, stay safe. And this is your girl, Janelle, signing off for another episode of Talk to Me Tuesday. So young lady, I'm going to